What is going on, YouTube world? My name is Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice. That is my nickname. Appreciate all you guys for tuning into my channel today. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you're excited for the NFL season and you enjoyed this content. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. Do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. And turn on post notifications too so you don't miss a single video. It's only right, guys. Okay, look. We're going to break down the Kansas City Chiefs football schedule in 2019-2020. I'll try to see where I can find some wins and losses for the Kansas City Chiefs in that regard. I'll go game by game. And like I said, we'll predict the record for 2019-2020. Now, to me, the Kansas City Chiefs, I like them a lot. They're a Super Bowl contender to me. Obviously, you got to have an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl these days, in my opinion. Okay, you just have to have a good quarterback. The Kansas City Chiefs check off that box very, very well. Patrick Mahomes, obviously last year, in his first full season starting, took the league absolutely by storm. In my opinion, established himself as one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football today, even in his first year starting. The guy threw 50 touchdown passes, 5,000 yards in his first full season starting. Okay, now, look, I understand that, people want to say, let's see Patrick Mahomes do it for a second year in a row. And I get it. I'm one of those people. I want to see what Patrick Mahomes does this year. I want to see if he potentially can even progress in certain type of areas, reading defenses, reading coverages, things like that. But again, you don't get lucky throwing 50 touchdown passes. Now, obviously, he has a great offensive supporting cast. I mean, Tyreek Hill, one of the best wide receivers in all of football. Travis Kelce, one of the 2 best tight ends in all of football. Elite offensive line. Very solid running backs. Very good wide receivers besides, Tyreek Hill. Andy Reid is an offensive guru of a head coach. Pretty much every quarterback that Andy Reid has played for, whether it be Michael Vick, whether it be Alex Smith, who turned into an MVP candidate when he first saw Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb, who Andy Reid dragged to 5 straight NFC championship games. Donovan McNabb is nowhere near as talented a quarterback as some of the other quarterbacks in the league. He got Donovan McNabb to 5 NFC championship games, okay? So Andy Reid, you're going to put up numbers in his offensive system, okay? And Patrick Mahomes is pretty much rigged for him each year to be an MVP candidate because he has Andy Reid as his head coach. He has those great offensive weapons, okay? Patrick Mahomes is set up to succeed. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying. He's set up to succeed in a very good way. The Kansas City Chiefs have done a great job of surrounding him with talent, okay? So again, we'll see if Patrick Mahomes can potentially progress this year. I don't think he'll throw 50 touchdowns this year. Spoiler alert, he will not, okay? But I think he's still going to have a very good year. And what really surprised me with Patrick Mahomes is, look, I knew Patrick Mahomes, once he got to Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs in the draft, I thought Patrick Mahomes would be a very good player. I knew he would be a very good player. But what really surprised me was in college, he really had struggles with accuracy and turnovers. Obviously, he was able to limit the turnovers in his first full season. I think him learning behind Alex Smith for a full season really, really helped him. I think that's pretty much the perfect situation for Patrick Mahomes. Okay, sitting behind a quarterback, that's pretty much the exact opposite of Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback. Alex Smith is a dink and dunk quarterback that loves to play it safe. Patrick Mahomes, he loves to take those bomb shots down the field. So I think them two working together really helped Patrick Mahomes progress. I was really shocked that he completed 66% of his passes and how consistently and deadly accurate Patrick Mahomes was this year. So again, you got your great quarterback for the next future. I think he's going to be the next great quarterback for the next 10 or 15 years, Patrick Mahomes. Okay. Now, really, like I said, you have a great offense, you have a great quarterback, but you need to be able to stop people. Last year, the Kansas City Chiefs, in that regard, pretty much had a failing grade, okay? Their defense last year was atrocious. It was the worst in football, in my opinion. Look, the fact that Patrick Mahomes won 12 games with that defense is just absolutely amazing, okay? This defense was atrocious last year. They obviously were one of the league leaders in sacks, but again, that back end of the secondary was just absolutely terrible. And their defense was so bad, after the AFC Championship game, they fired the defensive coordinator right after the game, okay? They have a new defensive coordinator. Obviously, they're going to do some new things. And personally, I think if the Kansas City Chiefs had beaten the Patriots, okay, in that game, they had an opportunity to do so. If D Ford doesn't go off sides, okay, I thought they would have been Super Bowl champions. I really do believe they would have beaten the Rams in that Super Bowl. I really firmly believe that, okay? But again, the Kansas City Chiefs have made some strides in trying to improve this defense. They added Frank Clark in the offseason from the Seahawks. That was a good pickup. They didn't lose Justin Houston, though, so pretty much you're replacing him with pretty much the same guy, in my opinion, okay? Rashad Breeland, you bring him in at the cornerback position, I should say, not situation. He definitely should help you guys, okay? You brought in the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, easily your best player in your secondary. You drafted Juan Thornhill out of Virginia, a guy that had 6 interceptions a year ago, okay? He's a very good player. I was very high on Juan Thornhill coming into the draft. So the Kansas City Chiefs have made a conservative effort to improve their defense, but they did lose Steven Nelson in the secondary too. And again, like I said, I need to see it to believe it with this Kansas City Chiefs defense. I need to see it to believe it. I don't think they'll be as bad as they were last year, but again, this defense is nowhere near top 10 defense. It's nowhere near going to be middle of the pack in my opinion. I still think this defense will struggle, but again, if they were the 20th ranked defense last year, they probably couldn't even won a Super Bowl. So again, at least you made some strides in that area. Your defense over the years should get better. You did draft Mecole Hardman from Georgia. He's going to definitely add another great dynamic weapon for Patrick Mahomes in this Andy Reid offense. So without further ado, I talked enough in my opinion. Let's just get right to the schedule. So the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road to start the year, at the Raiders, Baltimore Ravens at home, and at Detroit Lions. I personally think this is a very tough stretch. Okay, the Raiders, the Jaguars, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Detroit Lions. Well, I shouldn't say the Ravens, okay, but all three of those four teams at least vastly improved this offseason. So how will you do in this stretch of games? Well, I see a 3-1 start. I see you losing at Jacksonville. I see you beating Oakland. I see you beating Baltimore. And I see you winning at Detroit. Now the Jaguars game to me is going to be a very interesting game, okay? I think Nick Foles is going to thrive in Jacksonville, okay? They need some serviceable quarterback play. Any upgrade, anyone pretty much over Blake Bortles is an upgrade, okay? They added Josh Allen in the offseason in the draft. He pretty much just sat right there in their lap, okay? They have an elite pass rush, Jalen Ramsey, AJ Boye. That secondary is nasty. Again, one thing I will say about Patrick Mahomes is that, look, teams now have film on Patrick Mahomes' tendencies. So I don't think he's going to have this amazing, great season they had this past year. He'll still be very good, still be a Pro Bowl type player, but again, I think Patrick Mahomes will regress a little bit, okay? So I have the Jacksonville Jaguars beating you because it's at Jacksonville, okay? Raiders at home, Raiders on the road. They could potentially beat you guys, but again, I don't see that defense stopping Mahomes. Now the Ravens at home, this could be a tricky game. Last year, you almost lost to the Ravens at home, but again, I just think Patrick Mahomes is better than Lamar Jackson is at this point in his career. I think Lamar Jackson takes a step back. Okay, I think teams now have film on Lamar Jackson. I think him running around is not going to work in 2019, 2020. He needs to progress as a passer, in my opinion, give a better team. And at Detroit, this could become a tricky game. Matt Patricia, a very good defensive head coach, but again, like I said, the Lions, they added in the offseason. They added TJ Hawkinson, they added Trey Flowers, they added Mike Daniels. But again, I just don't think they've taken a big enough leap to beat a team like the Chiefs. Okay, so next couple games, Colts at home, Texans at home, at Broncos, Packers at home. Another tough 4-game stretch in my opinion. I think you go 2-2 in this stretch. I think you lose at home to the Colts. Look, I think you'll lose at home to the Colts. You'll beat the Texans, lose at Denver, and sadly, it pains me to say this, but you will beat my Green Bay Packers. Now, again, I could see you winning this Colts game, but again, I just don't see it. Look, I know you beat them in a playoff game last year. I get it. You blew them out pretty much. It was not even close at some points. But again, the Colts did add in the offseason. They improved this offseason. They added Justin Houston, your former pass rusher, is now on their team. They got Devin Funchess. They added Paris Campbell to their team. Those are two very good wide receivers, okay? Paris Campbell, I'm very high on him, coming out of Ohio State, okay? They added some very good defensive players on their team through the draft, too. So again, I think I'm a believer in this Colts team. I think the Colts are going to be a Super Bowl contender this year. Again, I think this is more of a revenge game. The fact that you blew them out so badly in Kansas City last year. And again, I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to be as spectacular as he was last year. So again, the Colts, they have the best offensive line in football easily. I don't think the Chiefs defense is going to do anything to stop Andrew Luck. To me, Andrew Luck is going to be one of the top 2 MVP candidates this year. He might win the MVP. He's going to put up numbers. I have you losing to the Colts. You'll beat the Texans. Again, Deshaun Watson is a special player, but this is a flawed football team. They were a product of an easy schedule last year. Their offensive line is still a work in progress. I got you beating the Texans at home. At the Broncos, now I get it. You're a better team than the Broncos. But again, Joe Flacco does provide some stability at the quarterback position, okay? He's an upgrade over Case Keenum, sadly, okay? They added Noah Fant. They still got Cortland Sutton. They got Phillip Lindsay. They still got Emmanuel Sanders. They have some very good wide receivers. Again, it's at Denver, a tough place to play. Von Miller and Bradley Chubb should get after Patrick Mahomes. Like I said, I don't see Patrick Mahomes being this over-the-top, amazingly just better than everyone in the regular season type quarterback. I think he'll take a slight step back this year. Denver has the defense to stop you guys, and I think their offense will be able to move the ball in your sorry defense. You'll lose that game. Packers at home. Look again, I think my Packers are going to be improved. I potentially could see us in the playoffs this year. We're probably going to win about 9, 10, 11 games this year, maybe 12 if we get lucky. But again, You're the more talented team. It's in Kansas City. If it was in Green Bay, I'd pick the Packers. But again, I think that Patrick Mahomes out-duels Aaron Rodgers in a very high-scoring game. Okay, Vikings at home, next game, at Titans, at Chargers, bye week, then Raiders at home. I think you go 3-1 in these stretch of 4 games, okay? Vikings, that's a win. Kirk Cousins, he doesn't win very many big games, okay? Patrick Mahomes head and shoulders above him. You're the better team. You'll win that game at home. Now, at the Titans, do not sleep on this game. The Titans, they are a very good, complete football team. They have Derrick Henry. They have a very great, good offensive line. They have a very good young secondary. Adoree Jackson, Bird in that secondary is very good. Defensive line is pretty solid. You know, they added to the wide receiver core of the draft, drafting A.J. Brown. I like what they're doing. But again, to me, it comes down to the quarterbacks. And Marcus Mariota, to me, is a terrible quarterback. Marcus Mariota needs to be moved on from him. Marcus Mariota is just terrible. I'm not a believer in Marcus Mariota. Someone tell me where they see Marcus Mariota as an elite quarterback. I don't see it. I think that just because that Patrick Mahomes is better than Marcus Mariota, I think Mariota will lose the game for them eventually. You'll win that game at the Chargers. I see this as a loss. Look, the Chargers to me are just a slightly better team than you this year. I get it. You won your division last year, but the Chargers did win 12 games last year. Philip Rivers had his best season in years. They got Keenan Allen. They got Mike Williams. They got Hunter Henry, who returns from injury. It's in LA, the Chargers house, okay? You know, they got Derwin James. They got Casey Hayward. Again, I see you splitting with the Chargers this year. Just going to lose a game at LA. Bye week, you'll turn around and beat the Raiders again. You're the better team. I see you sweeping them this year. They have not made enough strides in the offseason to win more. I don't know. I don't know what to think of the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are good enough to beat the Chiefs this year. So, next couple games. At the Patriots. Broncos at the Bears. Chargers at home. Ooh, 4 tough games right here. I have you going 3-1 in this stretch. I think you actually beat Tom Brady and the Patriots in New England. Look, eventually, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are going to have to break through. They're going to have to eventually beat Tom Brady. And Tom Brady is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Probably the greatest quarterback of all time. The most accomplished quarterback of all time. He obviously has 6 Super Bowl rings for a reason. Bill Belichick, by far, is the best coach of all time, in my opinion, even though he did cheat a little bit. Okay? The Patriots are defending Super Bowl champs. They beat you last year twice. But again, those are very, very close games both times. I think that, personally, the Kansas City Chiefs are a little bit more talented of a football team than the Patriots this year. They will go into Foxborough and win a tough game. Andy Reid has had great success in Foxborough in his career, okay? I think you win a tough game at the Patriots, okay? Broncos at home, you'll win that game. I have you splitting with them this year. At the Chicago Bears, again, they have the defensive personnel to match up with you guys, okay? They're going to move the ball on your sorry defense. Mr. Trubisky, I think he'll be an okay quarterback this year. I'm not completely sold on him, but again, you know, they'll do enough to beat you guys. It's in Chicago, a cold weather environment, okay? I like Khalil Mack. I like Eddie Jackson. I like their secondary. I like their defensive line. I think Roquan Smith will have a breakout season. That Bears defense is nasty. They're coming off a 12-win season in which they should have won a playoff game if Cody Parkey can actually kick field goals. Again, I just think you catch a tough loss at Chicago, but again, you'll rebound and beat the Chargers in your place at the end of the season. I think you're good enough to split with the Chargers this year. So in conclusion, 11-5. I think this is very fair for the Chiefs. I really do. Look, the Chiefs are still great Super Bowl contenders. I think the Chiefs can potentially win a Super Bowl this year. They have made strides in improving their defense, but again, I don't see Patrick Mahomes being as good as he was last year. I think he'll take a slight step back because teams now have film on Patrick Mahomes. They will know his tendencies. I think he'll turn the ball over a little bit more than he did last year. He did get away with some things last year that I didn't think he could potentially get away with long term at least. Again, Patrick Mahomes is a special player. He has potential to be a top 10 quarterback of all time. But again, I just look at this offense. I just don't think they'll be as spectacular as they were last year. They'll still be very good. Still may even be the best in football. But again, I think their offense takes just a slight step back. Defense will be a little better. They made some strides in that area, but again, I'm not a huge believer in that. But again, elite offensive line, elite wide receivers, elite quarterback, defense. If they can just give you something, you have something. I think with a quarterback like Mahomes, your floor is 8 wins. He's going to give you 8 wins by himself. I think the weapons around him, your schedule is manageable enough. I could see you going 10-6, 12-4, but again, I think 11-5 is a sweet spot for the Chiefs in 2019-2020. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you enjoyed this content. Subscribe to this channel if you're new as well. Turn on post notifications too so you don't miss a single video. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in to my channel today. Be sure to tell all your friends about this channel. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. I am heading to college in about a couple weeks. I want to become one of the next great sports analysts and broadcasters, like someone like Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith. You get the point. So just help this channel grow. The best thing you guys can help me to do to achieve my dreams and help this channel grow is to just share this channel with all your friends. Get people hip to my Juice Alert channel. I appreciate all you guys for tuning out. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And I'm Ghost. Have a blessed day. All you guys. I'm out.